Hi everyone, I guess it's time to get started, and I can promise you we will get you out of here before an hour is over, because we only have an hour's worth of battery on the video camera. So we're going to be done before that. My name is Peter, and thank you so very much for being here. We have a full house, but we still have some open seats. This is like high school, no one wants to sit in the front. I don't spit anymore. Thank you again so much for coming out. If at any point you feel thirsty or hungry, please go help yourself. We're here to celebrate the people who make us able to have the life we have up in beautiful Three Rivers. These are the first responders. These are the people who defend our security, come and help us when there's a fire, bang on our door and tell us to cut the grass down when it's the right time. And the ones who come and help us when we have an emergency. Without these people, it'd be almost impossible to have the life we have in Three Rivers. So we don't say it enough. Thank you to all of you in uniform. Very quick recap for those who aren't familiar. This is now the 13th year of this program in Three Rivers, and it's an entirely community-driven event. My wife and I have had the pleasure of being able to run it since it started, actually. But it's really entirely up to the community. In essence, from January 1st to March 31st, we issue a thank you card. This is not mine, it's hers. And I carry it. It looks like this. And on the back, it's got the service that you're in, how many years of service you've done. You can get this from almost any lodging provider in town, or you can ask us anytime during this event tonight and you can get it. It's good for the whole time period, and the people and businesses of Three Rivers and several other areas have gotten together and said, we will offer up to a 20% discount, not only for the person being honored, but for the entire party that comes with them, which means if you go out for a big family dinner, the entire group gets up to 20% off in local places. That is something really, really special, and it's applicable for the whole 3 months. That's pretty awesome. Even cooler is that you can get a card whether you're currently active or you are a former person, a former first responder, and that means law enforcement, EMS, EMT, fire, peace officer, any of the armed forces, Coast Guard, even merchant marine. So the reason we started this and the reason that it keeps going is that Three Rivers, like many rural communities, is very, very volunteer oriented. The last time we checked, something like 60% of the adult population at one time or another has been a first responder. So we know very well what it takes to allow that first responder to do the things they do. Yes, they're the heroes. Yes, they're the ones that put their lives in danger. But it's the families who support them and the families who allow them to do this on a daily basis. And of course, the families who wait nervously by the phone to find out if everything's okay. And hopefully 99.999% of the time, it always is. So enough of me jabbering. Let me introduce my wife, who actually speaks much better than I do. Leah.
Not true. Okay, we had a question about who's going to go first. And it looks like Eric won. Eric is going to go first. Okay, let me say a little bit of something about him first before he has to stand up here. Okay. Eric was nominated by locals in the community, okay? Very aware of what he has been doing. And I asked him to give us a little bio, like we ask anybody who gets up here. And I got a little bio. Let's start off with his picture, okay? If you see this on Facebook, you know who's in the driver's seat. Ask your neighbor if you can tell. That's a great picture. Okay, his bio. Eric says he was born and raised right here in Three Rivers, married his wife Wendy in 1988. He has 2 sons, Philip, who works at Sequoia National Park as a heavy equipment operator. Thomas, who's a junior at Channel Island College. All right, then he says he's been running heavy equipment for over 35 years, starting right here in Three Rivers. He worked for Caltrans, come on in, for 22 years before transferring to Cal Fire as a heavy fire equipment operator. All right, what do they do? Heavy fire equipment operators work in steep and rugged terrain. They clear off the shrubs, the brush, the grass, and even trees, so the advancing flames will meet bare dirt and have nothing to consume. That's the idea. Ideally, the lack of fuel will stop the fire's progress. Dozers usually work in small groups in extremely steep terrain. Because they can get into places no other equipment can reach, the operators sometimes find themselves far away from backup, relying on radio traffic and aircraft to tell them what the fire is doing. So you understand the extra danger there. Some of them work close to the flames, others will build contingency lines that are farther back to act as a backstop if the first line gets breached. And then he commented that there were 2 deaths of bulldozer operators battling fires in California back in July. So it's serious stuff. Okay, with no further ado, Eric, you're going to have to come up to the front.
There's not much more to say. It is. Particular fire? Oh.
Or any sort.
I was just going to say, it's interesting that I started here in Three Rivers running equipment. I started with my brother-in-law, Clay Brown, a lot of years ago, and I worked with Jerry Whitney. I worked with Mike Condon running equipment up here in Three Rivers for a lot of years, where I got my depth of experience really for running dozers and stuff, and just carried that on throughout the rest of my career. And I want to thank everybody in my family for coming tonight. It's really special to me, and the friends that I have here in town. It means a lot to me that everybody showed up, and I appreciate this very much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Tell us something about like this past summer. It was so rough, and you were gone a lot. Like
Yeah, it
everybody.
started early. At the end of April, I left for Monterey, and it pretty much started from there, just being gone almost all summer this year to the fires. It was just a lot of time gone. And like you said, the family, they put up with a lot being gone. It's usually over 20 days when I leave on assignment before we get back, and that's just the way it is. It's part of the deal.
Is it one of you is it 2 working in the dozer?
I have a partner. I run it one day and he runs it the next day. But we're usually teamed up, 2 dozers and a strike team at a minimum that run together, and usually bigger groups when we're on a campaign fire.
What, the 2 that didn't make it back, what, do you know anything about the circumstances, what happened?
Just one of them was a rollover accident, got on a hillside, and the other one was just a burnover where he got trapped too far.
One of the cool things that we also do at this is, if he runs out of things to say, you get to ask questions.
True or false?
You didn't tell him you was in equipment rodeos either.
Yes. That's my mom. My #1 fan showed up.
So,
Someone over there.
question,
How does the dozer get to more remote and rugged areas? Does it all have to come in, like, you drive it in?
Right, we track it in, right, we'll drop it off somewhere where we can leave the trucks, and then
Drop it off as in,
alongside the road somewhere, and
but how does
then
it get to that area?
we have low beds we haul it on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll haul it to the fire and then unload it and track it in from there.
Oh, okay.
I know that you said that you have two teams, that in, one and then the two people, a team of two people.
Yes.
When you're back in there, do you come back in all the time, or one stays behind the lines, or how did your partner, or how do you change off? each
Right, we
week?
come in and out every day. Sometimes we have to track the dozer out to swap, and sometimes we can go in a utility vehicle and fuel the dozer.
So nobody stays out, you're always coming back in every evening, or wherever you're
Well, we
camping?
stay out for 24 hours.
Oh,
So
okay.
we work a 24-hour shift and then swap the next day for another 24 hours.
That's what I was gonna ask. How long are you out working before you get to sleep?
On the initial attack, it's 36 or 40 hours, and then you get swapped out, and then you go 24. So the first part of the fire is pretty grueling.
Wow. I'm looking for some more stories.
Over here, wait, there's one over here.
I was talking to your mother-in-law. She told me you had some interesting sleeping arrangements in Malibu.
Oh, we stayed at the, what was that?
On the
place?
highway? Slept on the highway?
Oh, we slept on the highway a lot, but we slept, where they filmed The Biggest Loser, we slept there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We had stage up right there and stayed there for a couple nights. It was interesting. At the Gillette Ranch. That was
I remember the firefighters, and I don't remember which group it was, but they were all camped down by Lake Hawea, and it was the hidden fire that they were fighting. I remember that. Was that a joint force of different organizations, or was it?
It usually is a lot of different organizations, Forest Service and CAL FIRE and any local county on.
Was CAL FIRE involved in that one?
I'm not sure, I don't.
The hidden fire specifically.
Anybody know the hidden fire? I don't
No,
know.
that was in the backcountry, that was mainly a Fed fire, and they didn't ask for our assistance.
Thank you.
So those were federal employees.
Good to see you again, Linda.
Oh, she remembers.
I love the familiar faces. This is great. Hey, Dennis, see you back there too. All right. Another one.
Do you name the bulldozers, and if so, what are your
No, I haven't named the bulldozer, but it would be a girl name.
So what was your favorite equipment rodeo event?
Oh, my goodness.
Another relative?
Motor grader.
What is that?
It's a piece of equipment for grading roads and stuff like that. Motor grader, yeah.
Grader, motor grader.
Eric, can you introduce your family?
Paula mentioned something else that I thought
Oh,
was
come on.
Now, this is really interesting. Apparently you're on a fire up in Gold Country and your dozer slipped into a
I
mine.
fell into a mine. Yeah. It wasn't bad. Another dozer had dug around me and got me out. So. Want to see a video?
You said the guy that pulled you out was somebody you knew from Woodlake?
He's my partner from Woodlake.
Oh, okay.
Forrest Cooper, yeah.
Okay.
He's a local, yeah.
Your family?
All of them?
We have all night.
That's my wife, Wendy.
Yeah, Wendy.
That's my daughter-in-law, Krista. My oldest son, Philip. That's my mother, Frances. That's my Aunt Phyllis, next to her. That's Uncle Rick and his wife, Aunt Sandy. My brother-in-law, Clay Brown, his wife, Kathy Brown, and my wife's twin sister, Cindy Howell. Where else have we got? Is that it?
We're your neighbors.
Hey, all right. The Woods contingent.
Uncle Mike! And Uncle Mike.
Okay, all right. That's great. Before I deal with this stuff, I want to introduce somebody. Christine, would you come up? Christine Sell Porter, she's a local and she's an artist.
Wonderful.
And every year, we ask one of our local artists or artisans to help us make this unique gift that we give the honorees. And it can be different. The first year, it was Dave King, and he made it out of metal. It was gorgeous. Whatever they make it out of, it's beautiful. This year, Christine was going to make it. And you're going to see her design. But she had lots of help with this. Could you stand up? Louise, She has Flow Arts, which she has the kiln that you need to fire this stuff, okay? And she has this little group that meets up there, but, people usually contribute, you know, and pay, like, it's like membership to do this. But all of this hero stuff is done for free, okay? So all the work that went into it, the materials, the time, the use of the kiln, all, you know, no charge. So just to let you know that.
Nice.
All right, and we're gonna show you the first piece of art. Thank you, Christine. Oh, well, okay, Peter says, hold off on the art and do the certificates first. Why not? Okay, so Board of Supervisors. Kyler Crocker, Certificate of Recognition, Eric Woods, 13th Annual Hero Appreciation Honoree in honor of your service as a heavy fire equipment operator for CAL FIRE. There you go. And this is really so sweet. When we were running our bed and breakfast, we would give certificates to stay with us. But once we retired, we had to start looking for somebody to offer a similar certificate. And the Gateway last year did it, just for lodging, but this year they changed it up. This is a $50 gift certificate, and you can use it either in the restaurant or for lodging. Nice. Now the mystery piece of art. Okay, each one is different, so when you look at this one, it won't look like the other one. Okay. And it's a tray. So she hand drew all this and painted it and fired it, and she's got little holes so you can hang it up. That's the
He's
hero.
part of the Swiftwater Rescue Team, which has so many attributes of mechanical aptitude that he displays on a daily basis. And he, along with all the Station 14 personnel, a lot of Company 14 personnel, they do such a good job at keeping us safe. He's just a great guy. Again, Rob with 2 B's. His commitment to make Three Rivers and Tulare County a safer place is just, again, immeasurable. He enjoys traveling, working on project cars, and spending time with his family as much time as he can in the mountains. Whether it's a high emergency incident or it's around the office, it's always, he never gets excited. And you always want somebody that shows up that's gonna be cool under pressure. And Rob's that guy. I'll let him introduce his wonderful family here. He's been married since 1995 to the same woman. That is a real gift in our profession.
Thank you, Chief.
You also work with Swiftwater Rescue,
Yes.
right? Yeah, from the beginning?
Yes.
That's awesome. We need as many people involved in that as possible.
Ask him a lot of questions.
Are your children here too?
Yeah,
Let's
my
point out.
wife Carrie. And here. My daughter Kylie. Other two, Nikki and Forrest, they're at work, so
So they can't be.
they couldn't make it tonight. But, and then Mom and Dad are up the hill playing in the snow or whatever. So,
That's great. I remember, you're always there when Peter had his car accident.
Thanks for bringing that up.
For those of you who don't know, Peter going down 198 and somebody pulling out of the pizza factory.
Had
And
an
both
intimate
cars-
encounter.
Both cars were totaled, and it was scary. And we had to wait forever because there were serious accidents in Porterville, I think it was, and CHP couldn't get there. It was getting later and later, everybody was exhausted,
and cold.
and you and Deputy Frick just hung on forever. And it really, really helped. Thank you. You didn't really have to do that. It was pretty awesome. Tell us some tale about what it's like working here in Three Rivers.
Well, it's never a dull moment, that's for sure. I absolutely love working up here. I met a lot of nice, awesome people. The guys I work with back on this side, also over there. Awesome company, 14 guys. You know, they really showed me around and all the ins and outs and who's who, which makes it really nice. So Other than that, I say it's never a dull moment, whether it's somebody getting sandbags or just come by to talk or ask for a burn permit or whatever. It always ends up in at least a 10-15 minute conversation about something. So, yeah, it makes it kind of nice. It's kind of why I like that side of the fire department. So.
Questions, guys? Uniforms especially.
Stories?
A story from when the new department secretary started and was there about 3 months and had to call in her own house because there was a fire in the toaster oven with french fries. And Rob was the one that responded and took care of that. And listened to my daughter talk his ear off because it had been fire safety day at school.
She's a joy. She was a lot of energy and really helped me out and everything else. So
Annie,
good.
stand up, introduce yourself.
Hi, so I work for Tulare County Fire Department. I'm their department secretary. And I had literally been there 3 months when I had to go in and tell my boss that they were gonna have a call out for my own house. My mom caught the toaster oven on fire. And Rob was nice enough to go and deal with said
So
toaster
sad.
oven.
We're not so sure about this new employee, huh?
Yeah, that was good.
Like I said, it's never a dull moment. I never know whose house I'm going to or who I'll meet on the side of the road at
Yes.
9 o'clock at night
Right.
or whichever. So I'm thankful to be up here. It reminds me of old days back in Exeter. A lot of community support, a lot of community activities, and you know that's the side of the fire department I like, is dealing with the people. So works out good, and I thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I just want to share something. I worked in Exeter for quite a bit of years on the ambulance, and before you got involved in Tulare County Fire, you were a volunteer. And I just remember so many calls, traumatic, awful calls, and I would just like look for someone to help to ride along with me, and I would open the door and you would be right there, and I would give you that look, and you would just jump on and help me all the way, and I'll never forget it. You're part of that.
Kind of on that subject, why don't we have a big hand for the Three Rivers Volunteer Ambulance Group that served. How many of you here were part of that at one time or another? Yeah, I see quite a few. That's right, awesome. Okay, before we do the next thing, let's have our supervisor come up, since he's come all the way out here.
Can I go sit down?
No.
Not yet.
Get away.
Thank you for coming so much. All right, supervisor.
Well, I just want to thank our first responders, you know, for the 2 recipients tonight. It's really a great pleasure to be able to serve Three Rivers, and we have such great men and women that serve our communities day in and day out, and this is the best part about my job. It's truly a pleasure to work with such great people that care about our communities, and I'm glad that you two are both the recipients tonight. And for those of you that aren't, something to look forward to next year, right? Congratulations.
Okay, now we have that beautiful certificate. Let's see, certificate of recognition in honor of your service as lieutenant for the Tulare County Fire Department. Kyler Crocker, supervisor of District 1. And we get the lovely gift certificate from the Gateway again. I thought it was a great idea. It's either for the food or the lodging, $50.
I just wish she still worked up there. So.
Thank you. There we go. And now, let's see your piece of art now. Each one's different.
That's
Looks
awesome.
like that was probably a spring or summer scene. This one is winter. Look at that.
My favorite treat.
Isn't it beautiful? And you can hang it up if you want.
that.
She's got a couple of poles here.
Awesome.
Wow.
Okay, you want everybody?
Everybody in uniform. Everybody who's a first
Not
responder
yet.
here. Let's get up here. Let's take a picture.
Wow.
I bet it's like 2/3 of the room. Mr. Pruitt,
Come on up, guys.
one big family. Where did Eric go? All right.
What a dress. I know, right? Yeah. Try to stop on anybody.
It's always friendly.
I'll just put hand behind this guy. Square up or shuffle? I gotta blend in.
Turn it.
I don't wanna touch
Turn sideways. What we looking at?
I'm just staring off this space.
Wow.
Okay? Everybody got it? Thank you.
Okay, Peter, are we done?
Almost. Okay, so January is when we honor fire and EMS and anything associated with that. February is law enforcement.
Right. Last Friday in February,
We'll be at the cider mill.
it'll be at the Cider Mill Restaurant this time. And in March, we'll be back here again.
And March is armed forces. And also, if you recall, the last Saturday in March is the bathtub race.
Yes.
So that'll be the 9th annual bathtub race.
Right.
No one's drowned yet.
We're always hoping the volunteer firefighters will get a team together.
Because the average prize is about 1,000.
Yeah. And so whatever team wins gets to donate that money to the charity of their choice. You know, so we've had the Three Rivers Bread Basket win, the Boy Scouts of Tulare won, Care, Pregnancy of Visalia, the
That's right.
Presbyterian,
Pro Youth,
the Presbyterian
the
Kids
Scouts.
program.
So yeah, we've done this 9 years
Pro
and
Youth Heart.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to put a team together, you just need 5 people, 2 of whom have to be in the boat. Dennis knows all about that.
And they all, the volunteer firefighters almost won.
That was the
Very-
first year.
Very first year. I mean,
Almost.
way ahead. They were way ahead of everybody. They had built the best boat, they were going the fastest, and on the way back,
Uh-oh.
the guys got in the water and put the rope over their shoulder. This is where you can help out. And they marched like this and busted the boat.
The boat exploded.
It was too big a pull. It was a branch,
Snap.
busted like a garbage bag that was holding recyclables and balloons. And they all went up in the air and Dennis went down.
If you are interested, you can look it up, Lake Kauai bathtub race, and there's all the ears are there, and some of them are funnier than others.
A few videos, yes.
But it's a great fun event. It's a family picnic. This year, we've opted to only have one family-friendly event as opposed to the prior years, because we are getting a little older. But outside of that, I repeat again, there is a lot of food there.
So
Take
let's
something.
visit and help yourselves.
And outside of that, thank you so much for the great turnout, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Not a big event, or, I mean, as far as spectators. Some years it is, when it's a nice day, if it's not too hot or too cold. We've had bathtub races in the rain